I assume that's working?
Working just fine. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining the top 5 ways to optimize your VMware environment using IBM SmartCloud Webcast today. I'm Franny Schmidt, your Tivoli User Community Manager. As part of your community management team, I would like to encourage you to visit the community following this webcast to download this and previous presentations given to our member community. Today, Shawn Jaques will be presenting how to increase your ROI from your current virtualized infrastructure by building the workload optimized cloud. Shawn is a program manager in IBM marketing focused on technical marketing of the IBM SmartCloud Foundation portfolio. Before we get started today, I do need to cover some administrative details. All phone lines are in listen-only mode, but later there will be a question and answer session with instructions being given at that time. You may also ask a question at any time using the chat window located in the control panel. Chat questions will also be answered at the end of the presentation. Today's session is being recorded, and you will be provided with a copy of the materials following today's call. And with that, I'll turn the presentation over to Shawn. Shawn, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Franny. So I want to first of all tell you that I am going to try to allow about 15 to 20 minutes for questions at the end. So please, think about what you want to ask. Get those ready. You can submit them as Franny indicated. Now, there's plenty of things that SmartCloud can do to enhance your VMware environment. We're going to focus on top 5. And before I get there, I'll just tell you how I'm going to structure this presentation or how I have structured it. First of all, I'm talking a little bit about some of the trends that we've seen in the virtualization space and how some of the shifts in the way clients are spending their dollars and using their resources has caused some different changes in behavior. And then we'll talk about how some of those needs are shifting. We'll move into some of the capabilities that IBM provides around VMware and virtualization, and then we'll get into those 5 tips and then the questions at the end. So without any further ado, let's move down to the next slide. So this slide here is some data that we got from IDC that talks about how server spending and energy and cooling and server management administration, which includes software costs, has shifted over time. So you see in 1996, most of the cost, 63%, was around new server spending, a smaller percentage on server management and administration, and much less on energy and cooling. And you see how that's shifted quite a bit to 2006, where server management and administration, including software, has become a much bigger component of the overall cost, with 33% only representing hardware spending. And then you go even further, the spending is obviously increasing. It's not like server spending is necessarily decreasing, it's just decreasing as a percentage. It gets to 20% of the overall expected spend on IT in 2013, with 69% being spent on server management and administration. So with that, we're going to have our first polling question, so I'll turn it over to Franny for that.
Okay, thanks, ladies and gentlemen. The first question for today, if you'll just take a moment, please, to answer, is what are your virtual machine to physical machine ratios in your VMware environment today? Don't include virtual desktops. And the choices are less than 8 virtual machines, 8 to 10 virtual machines per physical server, 11 to 15 per physical server, more than 15, or I don't know. And we'll leave the poll open for just a couple more seconds here. We've got about a quarter of our audience that's voted so far. Here we go. We're jumping up to about 50%. Once we get over 50%, I'll go ahead and close the poll, and we'll share the results with the audience today. Okay, closing the poll. And Shawn, so our answer is we have 33%. Our largest audience says, I don't know. 31% says more than 15 virtual machines. 22% says 11 to 15. 8% says 8 to 10. And 6% says less than 8 virtual machines per physical server.
Okay, well that's fairly typical. The 33% that don't know, that's I guess that's alarming. But we can certainly we certainly have some things that we can talk about how it can help that. And granted, those people that don't know could just not be in the right role to know. But what we are seeing is that this number is increasing, and some of the changes in VMware's licensing might actually cause people to want to increase those ratios even more, which means more focus on administrative costs. We'll go to the next slide, and we'll talk a little bit about why why virtualization, or how virtualization is contributing to the shift in spending that we just talked about, we just saw. So first of all, it has helped keep physical server spending in check. So